Hey, what's up? Dean, State Performance Shop. Worked on the green truck yesterday a bunch. I got the Holly all wired up. I got the ECU fired up, updated. Ran the fuel pump wires, have those connected. Other than the ground, because the nuts aren't there and I can't find that size nut. It's a weird size. Then yeah, like everything is pretty much done. He had this bracket for his R4 style compressor, so he had this in the truck, so I went ahead and I put that on. I put the compressor up in it and kind of re-bent the hoses so they're not kinked. Like this one was down there and it was kinked, and this one was down over there and it was kinked, so I kind of straightened those out. You can still see right there where the kink is, right there, but it's been kinked from it sitting thrown down in here, so he'll have to replace the hose on that, or I don't know, something, whatever. But I also put his accessory bracket on, gave him all the bolts for everything. Transmission dipsticks back in. Cannot get an oil dipstick in it because, again, these headers are an issue. They're too close to the block, so you can't snake the dipstick through to get it excuse me, in the hole. So I left it that. I texted him yesterday, he hasn't replied. I texted him today, he hasn't replied. So I'm done with the truck. I did everything I agreed to do, so we're done there. George Nova, yeah, I think. Don't know if I showed. No, I don't think it did. I don't know. But I ordered the water pump spacers, got my new water pump on there. I ordered a swivel water neck, which is the first time I've ever used one of those, but they make it super convenient. New thermostat, all that's on. Took a new hose that I had, cut the ends, and that worked perfect. Then took another hose and cut 290s off, put this little tube. You can see where I bead rolled. You can see how the tube is lumped, or the hose is lumped. So I bead rolled both ends of that, got that on. Changed the return spring. That one just wasn't working. It wasn't the right spring or whatever. So I took his old bracket, put it in the front, put the return spring. Now it actually returns good. I just hope the pedal isn't hard to pull. I don't think it will be, but I got all that done. New tensioner that I had from something, I don't know. So that's on. Battery terminals are on, and I also tied the exhaust in right there. So I used 3-inch to 2.5-inch reducers. I cut all the crappy pieces that were there. You can see the other side's done, and then I used these band clamps. They're just the flat, straight band clamps to get them back together. Yes, it's MIG welded because that is all aluminized and I'm not dying from the fumes. No thank you. But so everything is pretty close. The AC, no, what is it called? Alternator and accessory, power steering. Yeah, alternator and power steering bracket. I believe it's here. Should be here today. So I'll have that tomorrow. I could put that on. I already got the power steering pump with the pulley off. I cut the tube and put the AN style on there, and then the AN fitting in the back. His alternator's right here, ready to go, and that's the good DR44. So I don't have to use the plug. Oops, I don't have to use the plug. This will default to 13.8. So yeah, so with the exhaust on, oh, and the shift linkage is done too. That's the other thing. So you can see right there, it's sort of like a low car style, but it's not a low car. It's an Amazon one. It has rod ends on both, and it has like a billet piece that goes on the for the shift lever. Where you at? Where you at? There it is. So, and then it's a stainless rod that runs up, and it's like infinitely adjustable. Where that rod end is, right there, that whole thing is slotted, so you can adjust the rod, how much throw it has. And then this end is also splined, so you can adjust the position of it. So it makes it super, super nice. Plus the fact that both are rod end, you could adjust, you know, the length of the rod. So that's good. Car goes into gear. Let's see how it starts. Through the exhaust. Sounds good. And then the gauges are all working again. The oil, over 60 pounds of oil pressure. Volts, obviously there's no alternator, but tach's working. The temp does work. So what I did was, for the MSD box, I put the stock location coolant temp sensor. Then for his gauges, and I did cut everything back. I have to just fix it up a little. I think I showed that. There's another coolant temp gauge. I just pulled the plug out, used the same sensor, put it in. Actually, I think that's his sensor from the gauge. No, it's not, because it was the wrong thread. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I think it sounds really, really good. It's not overly loud with the exhaust hooked up, but it sounds good. So I'm literally just waiting on these brackets, get all this mounted up, hook the power steering up. I gotta cap off that little hole. I gotta weld a threaded piece here for the steam port. I'm just gonna weld a piece into the radiator, like a little 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, whichever size it is, MPT. And it'll look like this radiator. So something like this piece here that you screw a barb fitting into, and then it brings the steam port over near the cap. So this car is very, very close to being done. We'll just have to check and make sure the radiator is capable of cooling the motor, and the fan is capable, because you could stick a larger radiator in here. You've got a hole probably 2 inches over here, and probably not much over here to go wider. But yeah, so you got 2 inches wider over here. So yep. We'll see. I kept the small block cool, but he also had a mechanical fan, but I don't think it was doing much. So I think this electric fan will work as a pusher. Pushers are better than pullers, I believe. I read that somewhere. So anyways, that's kind of the updates on what's going on. It was a busy day, but I got a lot done, and I look forward to getting this one done for him, that he'll be able to drive it, enjoy it. He hasn't really driven it and enjoyed it yet. So it kind of sucks, but once we get it done, he'll be good to go. He could drive it, enjoy it, and then hopefully come back, get some AC put in it, and it'll be a year-round car for him. So for this one, that's it. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave me a comment. Have a good day.